Generally speaking, driving into a big city with an RV or any large vehicle for that matter is not advisable. Unless, of course, you really want to see the city. Finding where to park your rig can also be a challenge, although there is always an option, as we'll soon find out. In any case, today we are going to visit Philadelphia, the birthplace of America and the Philly cheesesteak, among other things.
I'm riding in my RV, wherever I want to be, 'cause I'm free in my RV, yeah.
Our RV park here, not in the most attractive part of town, I must say. My friend Rob said it looked like a penitentiary facility, and yes, it is ugly as sin. But we're not staying here for the camping facilities or the natural beauty. We're staying here because it is minutes away from city center. When RVing in big cities, sometimes location and access to public transportation is the most important amenity. The folks who manage the park, very nice, very pleasant, and it seems to be very safe. They even have an electrified fence in the back. They do offer a free shuttle service that will take you to the bus stop. Anyways, here we are. We even have a little bit of a view of the Philly skyline. Well, good morning. I checked and there are no flight restrictions in the area, so let's check out our surroundings before we go from 400 feet above ground. Sometimes even modern cameras can't figure out certain situations like sunrises on their own, so sometimes you just have to dive into the manual mode. Yeah, it is kind of an industrial part of town. Here's the Schuylkill River, a tributary to the Delaware River on the other side of town, which we will see later today when we visit Penn's Landing. The Delaware is the natural border between Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Well, now that I've shown you around, let's get ready to explore Philly. Well, here we are at the campus park and ride. And now we're going to take a shuttle to the city. Oh, by the way, kind of noisy here sometimes. Another thing to consider. We take the shuttle bus out of this industrial area and, that's a pretty big garage sale. At least that's what I think that is. We go across the river onto University City, where all the hospitals are, and here we take bus 42 the rest of the way.
Caution, 30 seconds. 4, 16, 27, 32, and Broad Street line. Caution.
Hey, there's the Independence Hall. I think we missed our stop. Let's get off right here. Here they have a statue called the Signer, almost right next door to the Independence Hall. It was completed in 1980, and it is dedicated to those who signed the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. Let's walk half a block here towards the Independence Hall, which was originally the Pennsylvania State House. In order to visit and see inside, you actually have to get an appointment at the Visitor Center. So we're probably going to do that tomorrow morning because I really want to go inside. Here's a close-up of the George Washington statue in front of the Independence Hall.
Liberty Bell.
Yeah, the entrance is all the way to the other side. They have all these displays here with the history of the bell as a symbol of liberty. From the time when it used to be atop the Independence Hall and how it got cracked, the current visible crack, actually, it's part of a repair job. I didn't know that.
1776, an eager crowd gathered there to hear John Nixon give the first public reading of the Declaration of Independence.
There it is, towards the end. Actually, I am really glad we came early, and there are not too many people because this is a very popular tourist attraction.
Here we have, of course, the Liberty Bell. Liberty Bell and the Liberty
Well, that was really cool to see. One of the many things we want to see here in Philadelphia, which so far, I like it a lot, especially this part of the city with the very nice architecture, some old, some not so old. This here is Washington Square, and let's check it out. This was one of the original 5 squares envisioned by the city founder William Penn. Here's the bicentennial moon tree, planted from one of many seeds that made a round trip to the moon aboard Apollo 14. It actually looks kind of sad. Maybe it's the low gravity experienced by the seed. The park also served as a burial ground for many years, and nowadays it is just this pleasant square enjoyed by tourists and locals alike. Now we are approaching the tomb of the unknown Revolutionary War soldier, erected in 1954 after they removed all the Civil War monuments because they wanted to focus on the Revolutionary War. Check out those Illuminati-looking reliefs on that building.
So this whole park is a grave, basically.
Here's the monument from the back, and I don't know if you've noticed, but we haven't had breakfast yet, and my stomach is starting to growl, and that looks like a nice place.
Rest. Look at that. The old kitchen.
We get some coffee,
Right here in front of Washington Square.
and frittatas, very nice. Rob Nestore, a South Philly native and longtime viewer, has been texting me because he wants to show me the real Philly, where he grew up. So we are going to meet up in a little bit, but first I want to explore all this historic area and the Independence Visitor Center. This is actually where you get the tickets for the Independence Hall, and they have a gentleman playing the dulcimer.
Thank you. Quite a compliment.
Look what we have here.
I guess nowadays Rocky is as famous in this town as Old Ben himself. There it is, once again, across the park, the Independence Hall. And the National Constitution Center, which is an interactive museum of the history that transpired here. We continue to the Christ Church Burial Ground, final resting place of Benjamin Franklin.
$3 per person. The map is an extra $1. And they also offer guided tours.
We're just going to walk around a little bit, explore the old cemetery. There's Francis Hopkinson, signer of the Declaration of Independence and designer of the first American flag. But of course, he's not the only important person interred here. I bet you most of these worn-out gravestones have a place in history.
Let's go visit Ben.
Yes, this is the final resting place of Benjamin Franklin himself. And here's an epitaph written by Benjamin as a young man. It is a small yet beautiful necropolis. And here he is again. This one made out of keys and pennies, thousands of them. He kind of looks like the guy in the $100 bill, doesn't he? And how would you change the world? It is always great to walk around, stumble upon things, the only way to truly see a city. And here we are at Betsy Ross' house. She is credited with making the first American flag. There is a museum, but another time perhaps.
Well, gentrification.
We are now at the heart of the area called Old City, the oldest and most historic part of Philadelphia, with all these narrow cobblestone streets, many dating back to colonial times.
Elfreth's Alley.
Elfreth's Alley here is the oldest continuously inhabited residential street in the whole United States, the oldest house dating back to 1702. By the way, these are all private residences, with two exceptions, two museums, and it looks like we arrived here right on time, as the hordes of tourists are coming in droves. Let's explore some of the more intricate nooks and crannies here. Look, for rent. I wonder how much it would cost to live here, surrounded by history.
1749. Yeah, it hasn't been cleaned since 1749. Stepping back in time.
Let's take a break, shall we, at this semicircular bench? Very, very picturesque. Let's continue towards Penn's Landing. By the way, lots of new residential apartments in this area. An interesting juxtaposition of the old and the new.
Penn's Landing, mira, that way.
Definitely a very photogenic area. Photographer's paradise for sure.
Should I? No, maybe not.
That steeple there belongs to the Christ Church, very historic, actually linked to the burial grounds we saw earlier. It was originally founded in 1695, colonial times. And here we are. There is a recommended donation of $5 per person to enter, but it is totally voluntary.
Penn's Landing.
Penn's Landing here marks the spot on the Delaware River where William Penn, founder of the city, first arrived. There's the Benjamin Franklin Bridge that spans the Delaware River connecting Pennsylvania to New Jersey. It looks like they turned the old pier into a condominium, but hey, whatever works, right?
More gentrification.
The black SUV, that's Rob, who somehow tracked us down. You'll get to meet him soon. Super cool guy, but first, let's walk around Penn's Landing while he finds parking. Beautiful views of the Delaware River and the battleship New Jersey on the other side. Here's a Gazella, a wooden ship built in 1909, originally a commercial fishing vessel, and now It's just here cruising the Delaware River. Here they have this hockey rink. And here we have a very special ship. This is Cruiser Olympia, the oldest steel warship afloat in the world. And apparently they also rent you these swan-shaped pedal boats and paddle boards and all that good stuff.
And there he is.
There he is, I'm here. And you could go from Cape May.
Yes, Rob has all kinds of good suggestions for road trips along the eastern seaboard. Here's also Submarine Bacana. Really cool. I wish we had time to go inside.
So we bumped into Rob in a store here in Philadelphia. He said, you're Philadelphia native, right?
Yes, I
And you're
am.
going to show us around now. What are we going to see?
Today we're going to see South Philadelphia, where I grew up, the Italian market. And then we're also going to go around the art museum, where Rocky ran up the steps. Hopefully we're also going to get Robert to run down 9th Street like Rocky did in the movie.
We'll see about that. I'm a little out of shape. I'm a little out of shape right now. So, but anyways, let's explore a little bit of the real Philadelphia.
What I would call it is doing the whole East Coast from Myrtle Beach on up, hitting the coastline.
First, we're gonna go to this neighborhood called Northern Liberties, where there are a bunch of bars and restaurants. Seems to be a trendy area these days.
Jerry's Bar. You want to go to Jerry's Bar?
Well, here we are, pretty cool bar, and we are having a very refreshing Cape May IPA. Well, yes, apparently lots of good places to eat around this area, thanks to some recent revitalization, I hear. Now we are heading to South Philly.
Right here, Radicchio. It's actually open. See this?
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And that is the spot to go.
All right.
So if you ever come to Philadelphia, this is where the people go. Little corner place.
There's Jim's, a famous Philly cheesesteak joint, but that's not where we're going. We continue immersing ourselves into the traditionally Italian neighborhood in South Philly. The ice cream truck in front of us, a staple here in this area called Mr. Softy. There's John's Water Ice, another local delicacy. Apparently thicker than a slushy but thinner than a snow cone, and definitely not an Italian ice, according to the Urban Dictionary anyways. We are approaching now the famous Italian market. Isgro Pasticceria, they're supposed to have the best pastries in all South Philly, and cannoli, of course. Fresh handmade ravioli. This house, coming up here to the right, used to belong to Angelo Bruno, boss of the Philadelphia crime family for 2 decades, until his assassination in 1980. Right there, in front of his house. As you see, pretty normal house, nothing too extravagant. Well, my stomach is growling, so I think we should go get some Philly cheesesteaks. Apparently, Pat's invented it and Gino perfected it. And according to Rob, Gino's is a bit cleaner. In any case, the secret ingredient is apparently the bread. Can't wait to get there.
Mamma Maria. Ristorante italiano.
You know, I gotta figure out how to get on that YouTube video.
Yeah, hello there.
Right? This is the beginning of the Italian market.
There's Pat's, as I said, allegedly the birthplace of the cheesesteak, but I think we're going to Gino's instead.
It's a line, but doesn't seem
No,
to
that-
be-
that'll move
there's
fast.
Gino's.
You could actually park it if you wanted to. We're gonna park it.
Isn't that something that both competing joints are facing each other? Probably a good idea to sample both, actually. By the way, traffic is terrible. But Rob knows what he's doing. We found parking.
Now we're gonna get a Philly cheesesteak, which my friend Rob's here says, what is it called? Wit.
Gino, melted wit.
Melted wit. That's what they call it here. So we're gonna get a melted wit at Gino's.
We got a standing line, but it's not too bad.
How do you like it? Whiz wit?
Whiz wit.
Okay.
Yeah.
3 whiz wits.
3 whiz wit. This is mushroom pepper.
3 whiz wit. He's in Florida, so he don't get to go brown. He's filming for his TV show, Traveling Robert.
Right.
$30. That sounds good.
Let's go to Rob's secret place here.
My secret place. I just get through? Okay, my secret place is taken.
Philly cheesesteak. Melted wit.
See, this is where I go for Philly cheesesteaks, Gino's.
That tastes really good.
Listen, when the little martini, when Mini Martini can't make it, when it comes to Philadelphia, we park it and then we go in the Denali.
The Denali.
Rob's Denali.
Yeah. So where are we going?
We're
Italian
going-
market.
This is the Italian market. If you want to run up 9th Street, we can film you. You want me to film you?
No, it's okay. Okay, so this is the street where Rocky Balboa was running in the movie. Maybe I should do it. I don't know. After that Philly cheesesteak, I mean cheesesteak, no, melted with. I don't know if I can do it, but we'll see.
Whiz wit.
Whiz wit. Whiz wit.
Whiz wit.
And here we are now at the Italian market. All kinds of produce and meat, cheese, seafood. The combination of smells, deliciously overwhelming. Sausages.
That's probably the real stuff too.
How you gonna put that for the martini, don't you? Little pet, right? 100,
Let's get some cheese.
right? And they have all different types of cheese.
prima donna. I mean, we make it all here in
I know.
Try this grande.
Here's Rolf's, America's oldest Italian restaurant, established in 1900. And the Sarcon's Bakery, this year, 2018, celebrating its 100th anniversary. 100 years in business throughout 5 generations. They're actually closing down, but the owner is Rob's friend, and he was nice enough to show me the 100-year-old ovens in the back.
That's all stale bread.
So what bread is that?
Stale bread so I can make bread.
Breadcrumbs and from people like me.
Yeah.
So these are the
So
ovens.
this is the world famous bakery, Sarcon's. We've been all over Philly
Yeah.
today. Teaching. Now what do we say?
I'm Robert.
Tell them what we say. Like,
Cuz, yo, cuz.
Okay.
He's learning,
Yeah.
he's learning.
I'm learning the language.
Yo,
Yeah.
cuz, what are you doing, man? What are you
Yeah.
doing today?
This is great. This is where the magic happens back here.
Yeah, this is
Magic
two
happens.
buildings. It's 756, 756, 758. My grandfather broke through about 100 years ago. We started out one building over here in our basement. Our oven's in the basement.
Right.
We came up here in the early.
basement? Still?
There's an oven down in the basement. Yeah, it's underneath the floor, underneath these ovens. It's like Moonstruck. Give me 5
General
minutes.
Oven Company, New York. Look at that. You know how old that is?
That's
This is so cool. I never seen
awesome in there. All right, that was really cool.
Careful.
All right, thank you.
So give me 2 pounds.
Okay, we are kind of tired. So we're gonna go back to the RV, take a break, and then go out again. By the way, I really want to thank Rob Nestore for showing me around Philly. This was truly a unique experience.
We have new neighbors.
Okay, we took a break and now we're going out again. This time we're taking an Uber to save some time.
Well, we're here by the Museum of Art. And look at the line to take a picture with the statue of Rocky Balboa.
Well, we couldn't come to Philly and not do the Rocky Steps, right? So that's what we are going to do next, along with all the other tourists who came here to do the same thing.
Da 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 da. I'm a little out of shape. Da da da. We made it. I might not be Rocky Balboa, but I also did make it here to the top of the Rocky Steps, right here at the Philadelphia Museum of Art. And this is the view from up here. Great view of Philly.
Now I'm tempted to walk on the Benjamin Franklin Parkway here all the way to City Hall and Center City. But first, let's check this out here. Cool pediment depicting 13 figures of the classical mythology, Zeus at the middle. Actually, I think most people come here just for the Rocky Steps, very few to actually see the museum. Which is probably pretty good, but we're just here for the steps today. Very nice view of the Philadelphia skyline from here, which has changed quite a bit since the Rocky movie was filmed in 1976.
Okay, did that. Let's go back down and continue exploring Philly. It's much easier on the way down. Oh, that Philly cheesesteak. Here you go. It's a thing to do the Rocky Steps. Let's get a softie. Even the one in Finland was cheaper than this. $4 for a softie. Oh well, you're in front of the museum, right? North America.
There is an outdoor concert happening, although no one seems to be listening. And apparently this weekend they are holding a rock and roll marathon here. That's why they have all these barricades. And this here is the Washington Monument Fountain. The actual equestrian sculpture of George Washington dates back to 1897, although it was moved here in 1928, after they completed the Parkway and the E. King's Oval here. At the bottom they have sculptures of Native Americans and animals native to the United States. I think it is a beautiful monument here. Check out the moon. Kind of looks like the Death Star, don't you think? Well, the idea is to walk on the Parkway here all the way to the other end.
There's the Rodin Museum.
Yes, that's another museum I would have liked to visit. I missed the one in Paris a couple of years ago, and it looks like we're going to miss this one too. One day in Philly is just not enough.
Got all the flags.
The Parkway was originally designed to look like the Champs-Élysées in Paris, and it is nowadays lined up with flags from all the different countries. There's a city hall at the other end of the Parkway.
That's where we were.
By the way, this area is considered the cultural heart of Philadelphia, beginning at the Art Museum, where we were, ending with City Hall, with several other museums in between. Here's the Ben Franklin Institute and the World War I era memorial here on Aviator Park. Here, the Academy of Natural Sciences, which is like a natural history museum. In a few minutes, we are going to see the Love Park, but here they have the Amor. Spanish version, perhaps? Lots of street art here in Philly. This is what's called the Love Park. It seems to be a very nice place just to chill on a nice weather day like this one. If you recall, it was sunny this morning, then it got cloudy, and now it is sunny again. Check out all the flags lining up the Parkway. Ben Franklin Parkway. This park is actually famous for the love sign, which is actually supposed to be a well-known sculpture by pop artist Robert Indiana, and the stereotype is true. We Americans will line up for anything. This is actually a beautiful part of Philly here, for sure. It has that European vibe, I guess. And this is City Hall, with the statue of William Penn atop the clock tower.
It is 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Saving Time.
All of a sudden, we find ourselves in Center City. And you know what we're gonna do, right? We're going to see the city from above. Here's the One Liberty Observation Deck, located on the 57th floor of the One Liberty Place. It is $14.50 for adults. Not bad compared to similar observation decks in other cities.
$9 for both.
Ooh, these LEDs are really playing tricks on my camera.
Our friend Ben.
They have a video presentation as you go up the elevator, although it looks kind of dated nowadays compared to more modern, more extravagant, much taller, and much more expensive observation decks. Oh wait, I'm getting ahead of myself here. That would be on the next video. And surprise! Here's Ben once again. The views from the top are actually quite spectacular. There's the Ben Franklin Bridge spanning the Delaware River. To Liberty Place next door. There's that vast, somewhat flat area called South Philly, where we were earlier today actually. They have these very cool interactive touch screens that show you what you're looking at. But there's not a whole lot other than that. And some vending machines. A cafe or a bar would have been nice, actually. That's Penn's Landing, somewhere down there. And we are parked actually somewhere down there by that industrial area. Well, that was fun. We exit through the mall. Let's call an Uber and get back to the RV park. We've walked several miles today, and tomorrow we want to do one more thing before we go. We want to go to the Independence Hall again, and go inside this time. Yep, we were all the way up there.
Morning.
A little foggy this morning in Philly.
Well, it is another beautiful day here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We're gonna do a little bit more of exploring. Maybe walk all the way to Penn's Landing, see the Independence Hall, and then off we go towards New York. Beautiful day, by the way. We couldn't have asked for better weather. You know, it's low 70s, sunny.
First thing we did this morning was to get our tickets for Independence Hall. So we have about an hour and a half to kill. We're going to do Penn's Landing, see what's going on. It was so lively yesterday. As lively as this place was yesterday, today, crickets. There's very few people here. Just a few other confused tourists like ourselves, perhaps. Perhaps it is too early. Oh well, epic fail. Everything seems to be closed on a Sunday morning, so take note of that. Let's head back to Independence Hall, and maybe we can kill some more time in that area. And back here we are, still about half an hour to kill, so let's go into the Red Owl, right across the street.
Came to the Red Owl Tower. Well, we'll wait for our ticket.
Something to nibble on? Actually, that was a pretty cool bar. We might return after the tour. Here we are, ready for our tour of Independence Hall, which is free, by the way.
We gotta wait 10 more minutes, so just...
First, we go into this room where we're going to learn about all the history that transpired within these walls. Next, we're gonna go into the main building, and here we're going to see two main rooms, two main chambers, the Supreme Court and the Assembly Room. I've really been looking forward to this.
To the right, guys. Watch your step. To the right. Put the little people up front.
Here we are, the Supreme Court room, and the very knowledgeable park ranger tells us a little bit about our judicial system with a very cool anecdotes and a touch of humor. His remarks actually greatly enhance this experience.
Whose emblem is it? The king. You fooled it, you're guilty. Treason. You shall hang by the neck until you are dead.
Next, we go into the Assembly Room, where two major historic events happened, the Declaration of Independence and the drafting and signing of the Constitution. All that after the First and Second Continental Congresses, in which they agreed and disagreed on many things. He describes where everybody was sitting and what they argued about, making it so interesting. It is a great experience being here where the nation was born.
And over again. The rights of self-government. Folks, it's about home rule. Now, sadly, the British are not affording us this right. To get it, it's a war of American independence. It cost this nation dearly. Well, you gotta thank the employers. I appreciate it's incorrect, but it's the effort that I'm going. Folks, go ahead.
Actually, in 1948, they decided to restore all this as it would have looked in the 18th century, and it's all now managed by the National Park Service.
Well, that was a great tour, very informative, and it's great to be here, the birthplace of where everything happened.
Well, for someone like me, not born in the United States, this was actually a bucket list destination. It symbolizes the birthplace of a land of liberty and opportunity, and I feel it is a great privilege to live here and be able to call it home.
We're going to say goodbye to Philadelphia, although I would love to come back. Great town.
Yes, unfortunately, our time here in Philadelphia is coming to an end. Our next destination, another unlikely place to visit with an RV. On the next video, we will visit New York City. Until then, thank you so much for watching and see you on the road.
Welcome to New Jersey.
Oh, thank you very much.